Hi everyone! Happy Wednesday! Welcome back to my kitchen. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I'm really excited to be cooking up this #fancy pasta. I came across a recipe on Epicurious.com. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that website. They typically have some like super fancy recipes that use lots of ingredients that are oftentimes difficult to make. But this one looked like there were less ingredients. It seemed pretty simple to make. So I am attempting to make it here tonight, and I'm really excited to share this experience with you. I think it's going to be really good. So what it involves is pasta. Yes, we're cooking pasta tonight. We're using a fettuccine pasta. And we're going to also cook and throw in some arugula, some asparagus. We're going to put a lemon butter sauce on top of it. And then we're also going to soft boil an egg, and then also top that on the pasta with a little bit of smoked salmon. So it's going to be a very spring-inspired pasta. We've got the asparagus and the arugula. These are some really beautiful spring vegetables. You could also throw some peas in there as well, and I think the original recipe uses peas, but I'm just going to leave the peas out. The hubby doesn't really like peas very much, so I'm just going to leave them out tonight, but you could put them in as well. So give me a wave or a hello if you're tuning in. I see we have several people on. I'm also like multi-streaming this to a few different platforms, and I'm still getting used to that. So if I don't see your name pop up and I don't say hello, that's because my software looks a little bit different. So say hello. Let me know how you guys are doing today. And do you love pasta as much as I do? I love pasta, and I hear from so many people that they feel like it's an unhealthy food and they can't fit it into a healthy lifestyle. So that's kind of the theme of the show tonight. I'm going to talk a lot about that along the way. But the first thing that we're going to do to get started is heat up the water that we have on the stove. Hey, Gina, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So I've got a big pot of water here, and this is going to be for the pasta. So I'm going to turn this on a high heat. We're going to get this boiling, and half of my family comes from Italy, and so they say that it's a crime if you don't salt your pasta water heavily. So we're going to do that. I'm going to use an iodized salt instead of a sea salt, just because the sea salt is a little pricier, and I like to save this for cooking vegetables or whatever on the stove top, not necessarily boiling pasta. So I'm just going to use some iodized salt instead. Save a little money. You're still getting some salt. It's good to get a little iodine too in your diet. It is healthy. It's good for your thyroid. So we're going to do about, I don't know, that was probably 2 tablespoons. And put a lid on it, trap that heat, let it come up to a boil faster. And then over here, we also have some water in this pot, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil too, because we're going to soft boil our eggs, like I said before. So we want to get all of this stuff on its way to heating while we go ahead and work the rest of the meal. So has anybody had or made anything like this at home before? Curious to know. Let me know. What we're going to do now is kind of prep all of the vegetables that we're going to need for the pasta. So what we're going to do is once that water comes up to a boil, we're going to throw our fettuccine in there first and get that going. And then once the fettuccine is almost done, it's got, maybe 2 to 3 minutes left, then we're going to toss in with the pasta in that pot the chopped asparagus, and then the very, very, very last minute, we're going to throw in the arugula. Arugula cooks super quickly. Any green will cook pretty quickly, so we're essentially just blanching it for like 10 seconds, just to make it a little bit more tender. If you do it any longer than that, it's going to get mushy and it's not going to taste very good. But what I love about recipes like this is that you can cook lots of things in one pot. So if you ever want to make a pasta dish and you want to balance it out with some vegetables, throw your vegetables into the pasta water, let that heat it up and cook the vegetables, and then drain everything together. It just makes everything so much faster. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up this asparagus. Ooh, I'm going to give it a quick rinse. Also, asparagus is super cheap right now because it is in season. Very exciting. This was like $1.29 for one bunch, so I bought a couple of them. And I am going to cut about 1/2 inch off the end of these guys, just because the ends of asparagus are a little fibrous and chewy. So we'll just cut this part off here. Oh, my compost thing is overflowing right now. We'll just put these on the counter right now. So how is everybody? I wasn't here last week, so it feels like it's been forever since I've been on. What's everyone been up to? What's new? And then what I'm going to do is chop these, I don't know, maybe like 2-inch length. You can kind of do whatever you want. If you like small bite-sized pieces of asparagus, cut it smaller. I wouldn't leave them whole just because they might be a little bit hard to eat in the pasta itself, but I think this is going to be a good size. So we'll push that aside. Let me give my hands a quick rinse here. And let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about real quick were the carbohydrates and pasta. And so people, like I said, what I hear from people is that they feel like they kind of lose control when they eat pasta. They pile it on their plate and it's the main part of their meal and they're not quite sure how to balance it out. So a couple of things about balancing out your pasta, keep it to about a cup to a cup and a half if you can. That's just a good way to kind of eyeball how much pasta that is. And then over time, you'll kind of get used to dishing out that same amount every time. And then you look at the pasta and it might look like a very small amount to you. And you're thinking, how in the world am I going to fill up on this pasta? But keep in mind that you're going to pair that pasta with other things, right? Maybe you're going to have some protein. So in our case for tonight, it's going to be the smoked salmon and the soft-boiled egg. You're also going to have some vegetables in there. So lots of fiber that's going to help fill you up and make you feel satisfied. Again, tonight that's going to be our asparagus and our arugula. So you've got other components to the meal to kind of bulk it up and make it feel a little bit more filling. So that's just one way that you can think about or approach your pasta dinner so that you can enjoy the pasta without having to restrict it because you feel like it's not a healthy food. On that topic, I think pasta in particular gets a bad name because it's a carbohydrate, right? And everybody is afraid of carbohydrates because they think it's going to make them gain weight, which, anything will make you gain weight if you eat a lot of it. So it's about the portion sizes, of course, but it's also about choosing those more nutritious carbohydrates. And so I have a little chart here that shows you that, carbohydrates are found in more foods than I think most people realize. So starchy vegetables, of course. Fruit has carbohydrates, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Unsweetened dairy, other, healthy sources of probiotics like kefir and yogurt, those things have a little bit of carbohydrate. And then, of course, our whole grains like oats, or if you're making oatmeal, brown rice, or any other grain like a quinoa, barley, farro, all of those things have carbohydrates in them. And then, of course, your pasta is going to have some carbohydrates. It doesn't mean they're bad, right? So there's a difference in choosing your type of carbohydrates. You can have these carbohydrates, which pack a lot of nutrition. There's lots of vitamins and minerals and fiber and antioxidants in these things that elicit health. And then there's the not so healthy stuff, right? Like the cookies. I didn't plan for that to happen, but I looked behind me and the cookies were sitting there. So, and I'm sure someone on here saw it and they're eyeballing it. They're like, oh, dietitian eats cookies? I eat cookies. I don't really like these cookies though. Sorry, Hy-Vee. Not really a fan of their chocolate chip cookies. But anyway, I think you get the point. There are nutritious carbs that you can choose, and then there's some not so nutritious carbs that you can choose that you can have every now and then, right? It's good to enjoy those things every now and then, but they shouldn't really be staples in your diet. And when you start to transition into eating more of the nutritious carbohydrates and less of the not so nutritious carbohydrates, that's when you start to feel a little better. You have a little bit more energy. You might lose a little bit of weight. So it's just making that one simple shift. And it takes time, takes intention, but you can do it. I promise. Okay, so while that water is coming up to a boil, I'm actually going to go ahead and should I add the eggs in? I don't know. I think I'm gonna wait. Let's go over there and check and see what the boiling situation looks like. This one is almost there. Has anybody ever soft-boiled eggs before? This one's getting there. I'm gonna bring my eggs over here so we can go ahead and put them in. I like to do a soft boil of 7 minutes. And yes, it is very particular. And I'm gonna use a little timer on my phone so that I don't cook them too long and that I don't cook them for too little time, because then they'll be super runny and probably unedible. Set it for 7 minutes, and let's see, almost there. What I like to do is gently lower them in with a spoon so they don't just crash to the bottom and crack open. I see we have a few more people on. Say hello. Let me know who is here. Gina is saying, I love pasta, but have tended to stay away because of the fear of gaining weight. But good points you have made. Yes, yes. Now, if you're eating pasta every day and you're eating a lot of it, sure, you might gain weight. But finding other, nutritious carbs to enjoy is the way to balance eating. We don't eat pasta every day. We maybe have it once a week, and that's because George and I love it. But the other two here, they could live forever without ever eating pasta. I could not. We probably eat it at maybe 3-4 times a month. So again, not a huge staple, but you should find time to enjoy it if it's something that you love. Because the more that you tell yourself you can't have something, the more you want it. And then the more likely you are to overindulge on it when it comes time to actually enjoy it. So it's a balancing act. I thought I saw someone walking by. Do you guys like smoked salmon? You could leave that out of this recipe if you don't like smoked salmon. You could just do the egg or 2 eggs on here. But this is going to introduce a little bit of protein along with our egg. And also, as you know, salmon is rich in omega-3s. So we're getting some nice brain-loving, healthy fats. Also help to reduce inflammation in the body. Now someone's here. The family's coming in with groceries, so expect the dogs to go wild here for a second, but everything will calm down. Okay, so this is coming up to a boil. So I'm gonna go ahead and lower these eggs in, and I'm also gonna turn the heat down just a little bit to like a simmer, because I don't want the boil to throw the eggs around in the pot everywhere. Oh, do you mind putting those on the table in there? Okay. Thank you. Uh-oh. Walking into the set. Walking in. All right, I'm gonna put a lid on here, and we're gonna trap that heat. Oh shoot, I didn't start my timer. Look, I'm distracted. Okay, start the timer, 7 minutes, a soft boil. If you're not a fan of the soft boil, you could add another 2 to 3 minutes, and that will be a hard boil. And if that doesn't sound appetizing for your pasta, then you could do a fried egg, like an over easy egg, and really use that yolk as additional sauce. This is almost at a boil. I'm gonna go ahead and speed things up a little and just add my pasta in. So I am using a regular pasta of fettuccine. You could do a whole wheat pasta if you wanted to. That would add a little extra fiber, a little extra protein. It takes a little bit longer to cook, but not that much longer. Some people say they don't really like the taste of whole wheat pasta. What are your thoughts, Gina? Do you like regular pasta, whole wheat pasta? I like them all. If you are trying to better manage your blood sugar, whole wheat pasta may be a better choice for you. It will, like I said, have a little bit more fiber and a little bit more protein, which can slow the absorption of those carbohydrates into the blood and not spike your blood sugar as high. However, everybody's a little bit different. So, there are some people who actually their blood sugar does better eating white pasta and white bread. And then some people do better eating the whole wheat or whole grain version. The way to figure that out is to actually measure your blood sugar 2 hours after you have eaten the meal, and then you can kind of compare it to a meal that you make with the opposite type of carbohydrate that you had. That's a good way to figure it out. But just an interesting fact, because I think we talk a lot about getting that whole grain version, but sometimes for people, the white version is better on their blood sugar. As much as I hate to say that. Okay, I'm gonna leave the lid off of this because I do have a pretty rapid boil here, but that should help it come down a little bit. 4 minutes, and what we'll do is we'll take them out. I'll put them back in this little bowl, let them cool off, run them under some cold water, and then once they're cool to the touch, I can start peeling them. This looks good. I'm gonna bring my asparagus over here as well as my arugula. Gina, I like wheat pasta, but yes, it takes more time to cook. I use both. Yeah, yep. See, she knows. It takes a little bit more time to cook, but sometimes you just want some. If you're trying to enjoy whole wheat pasta a little bit more, you could do half and half. Gina, when you said that you use both, that kind of just reminded me of it. You could, cook a batch of half white pasta with half whole wheat pasta. So then you can kind of ease yourself into the flavor of the whole wheat pasta. If you do that, keep in mind that the whole wheat pasta, like we said, takes a little bit longer to cook, maybe like 3 to 4 minutes longer. So what I would do is put your whole wheat pasta in first, and then in about 4 minutes, throw your white pasta in, and then they should finish cooking at the same time. Okay, so we're gonna get our arugula ready with our asparagus. I'm gonna grab a quick bowl and throw this in there. I wonder how radishes would be in this. Radishes are in season right now too, and radishes are so good cooked. I bet they would be nice in this too, blanched if we sliced them pretty thin. All right, 2.5 minutes on those eggs. Also gonna go ahead and open up this smoked salmon. The smoked salmon is something that we're just gonna add on top at the end with the egg. So we're not actually cooking this part. If you wanted to heat it up a little bit, you could. Man, they really don't want you getting into that, do they? Yes, Gina agrees with the radishes. Love me some radishes. Ooh. All right, so this is 4 ounces of salmon. So I'm gonna just try to give everybody 1 ounce. It is sliced on there, so we'll see how that goes. And then we're also gonna squeeze some lemon juice in. The sauce for this pasta is really very simple. It's going to be lemon juice with some lemon zest, a little bit of butter. Yes, a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil. And the recipe said sour cream. So, boiling over here. Hold on, hold that thought. Sour cream. Okay. Recipe said sour cream, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. What do you guys think? So I'm supposed to like mix the sour cream into the pasta? I don't know. I'm tempted to try it because I think it'll go really well with the salmon, sort of like a salmon and cream cheese kind of thing. Maybe I should just try it, right? All right, 30 seconds on those eggs. Yeah, okay, so what do you think? Should I add the sour cream? Sour cream, mix it in. It's probably gonna be really good, right? Probably, I should probably just do it. Love sour cream. Also, you know, sour cream is a cultured product, a fermented product. So there are some probiotics in sour cream. I think this is another food that gets a bad reputation because it does contain fat. Heaven forbid, we should all eat a little bit of fat every now and then. Okay, I'm gonna turn this guy off. Take these eggs out. Ooh, aren't these eggs pretty? Got a little blue one in there. Okay, I'm gonna just run a little cold water over these guys. Okay, Gina, sour cream, yes. Sour cream it is. Wonderful. Okay, pasta's looking good. I think we need a couple more minutes on the pasta before we throw that asparagus in. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and prep some of these other things. So I'm gonna get some zest going. This is a microplane or a zester. I really love using it in the kitchen for this reason. It's nice to get some zest from citrus on things, especially for spring and summer. It just adds a nice punch, a nice freshness of flavor. You can do this with lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits. You can also use this thing for cheese, like Parmesan cheese, for like a topping on things. It gets it into nice thin ribbons. And it makes it so thin that it increases the surface area of the cheese, and the cheese mounds up really high, and it looks like a lot of cheese, but it's actually not. It's just so thin that it stacks on top of each other. It's pretty cool. Okay, do this other lemon too. I'm very excited for this meal. Like I said, I love me some pasta. So Gina, what kind of things do you like to cook at home? I'm curious to hear what everybody likes to cook. Who else on here cooks? Also, I have another question. What is it that you love most about watching cooking shows? Curious. Get out my juicer. Wherever it may be. Aha. We also have some basil here that we're going to put on top, so I can go ahead and get this going. We don't have any basil plants yet, but when we do, we'll be sure to use them from the yard. I mean, look at this. This is just like a picture of freshness here on my cutting board. Basil, lemon zest. It's going to be such a wonderful treat. All right, let's check this out. Okay, this is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the asparagus in. Feels like a couple pieces of pasta stuck to the bottom here. You can drizzle a tiny bit of oil in your water, your pasta water too, to prevent that sticking. Okay, go ahead and get this in. I think I'm gonna do a last minute change here. I said no peas, but I want some peas. They'll just have to be okay with it. Wait, do we even have peas? I know we have peas. Found them. Oh yeah. We got peas in the house. Okay. This is what is this? A 13-ounce bag. There's probably half of it in here. I'm just gonna add it all. Wonderful. We're getting green tonight. Gina, stir fry is my all-time favorite. Yum, love stir fry. I'm right there with you. Chicken, fish, all kinds of veggies. Yeah, pasta. Nothing any different than what you fix, although I've learned to try and like different things from your classes. Oh, cool, awesome. Yes. I love stir fry too. It's so easy to throw together too, and if you want some vegetables, there's nothing more that I love than a piece of broccoli that's like perfectly stir fried with soy sauce inside of it. Oh, it's so good. So good. Okay, so we've got the peas and the asparagus in there. They just need to cook for another minute or two. And then we'll blanch the arugula, and then get a big old bowl out. Or you know what? I'm just going to return it to the pot. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Now, what I'm also going to do is save a little bit of the pasta water because it is a little starchy and it can be a great choice of liquid to thicken up your sauce or add a little extra something, a little extra sauce to your finished pasta product. So I'm going to set a little bit of that pasta water aside. Hey, Joyce, thanks for joining. Good to see ya. We have our pasta, peas, and asparagus in our pot right now. And we're just gonna get a little bit of this pasta water in case we need it. About a half a cup. Don't really need any more than that. I'm gonna give one of these noodles a taste just to, just to see where we are with this. Do you guys ever like throw it against the wall or throw it on your ceiling like people tell you to do? Is that even true? I don't know. Oh yeah. It's good. It's what they call al dente. It's got a little bit of a bite in there. Oh yeah. Hey Julie. This looks like it would smell good. It smells really good, especially this, what's happening here right now. We've got basil, lemon zest, and lemon juice. Oh, it's wonderful. It smells really good in here. Joyce is saying, oh, Tobe is making chili. Chili, yum. Love me some chili. You know, we didn't really do a whole lot of chili this year. I think we maybe made it once over the winter. We need to get back on the chili train. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add the arugula in. Remember, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are doing a really efficient cooking technique in the kitchen where when you're cooking pasta and you also wanna serve vegetables with it, you cook your pasta till it's almost done, you throw in and start to blanch some other veggies that you want with it. In this case, we've got asparagus and frozen peas. And then we're also going to add arugula in here. And the arugula is going to be at the very last second. We'll throw it in because, of course, it's a tender green, so it's going to cook really quickly. So I guess I should see if I think the asparagus is done enough to pull it, to call it. Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm gonna turn the heat off. I'm going to add in the arugula. And I know this looks like a lot, but it'll get lost in there and it'll look like you didn't even add any. And like I said, we'll just blanch it real quick. It'll turn a really nice bright green. And then we're gonna drain all of this. Like I said, I saved a little bit of pasta water over here in case we need to thicken things up a little bit. If you don't really like arugula because it's bitter to you, blanching it like this can also take away the bitter flavor a little bit. So it might be a fun way to try to learn to love arugula, especially with all the things that we're about to add to it too. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and drain this guy. And we'll return it right back to the pot. Oh, this is a heavy load in here. A lot going on. Okay, like I said, yeah, some of my pasta stuck to the bottom. Can be prevented with a little bit of oil cooking in your water. It's an easy night for you, Joyce. Awesome. It's nice having help, right? We all need to have a little bit of help. I don't cook every single night. I cook most nights, but every now and then someone jumps in the mix, helps me. And we've got a rotation. If you cook, you don't clean. So I'm not cleaning tonight. Joyce is asking, is arugula spicy? Yeah, that's a good word to use. It does have a little bit of a like a peppery flavor, so it can have a little bit of bite to it in that sense. Again, that will lessen when you blanch it like this and serve it in this dish. Diane, hello. It doesn't matter if you're late, it just matters that you made it. You love arugula, awesome. I love arugula too. I like it all ways. I love it on a sandwich too, like a pressed sandwich. And I also love to just throw it into salads with like other types of lettuces, like a romaine or something like that. Delicious. Okay, so we've got all of this drained. I'm gonna go ahead and add this back to the pot. And then, so disclaimer for everybody who has just tuned in, this is a recipe that I found in Epicurious. And so I'm trying it for the first time. And what we're putting into the sauce is going to be some lemon juice, some lemon zest, a little bit of butter, and a little bit of sour cream. So I was a little hesitant on using these things tonight, but you know what? I'm just gonna try it because a little bit of fat is good for you. It helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Fat does help you feel satisfied later throughout the night, so you're less likely to snack. So, you know, I don't throw butter and sour cream into everything that I eat. We rarely use these things in the house. So I think that this is a good opportunity to share and show you that having, you know, a little bit of these things that we typically think of as unhealthy are okay to eat in moderation in our diet. So let's go ahead and I'll put this pasta back in the pot. And you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put the butter in there first because it's pretty hot in there. Okay, I'm going to follow this. Throw this in. Let that start melting. I think I'm going to turn, actually, I don't think I need to turn the heat on. Okay, and then we're going to throw this pasta right back on top. And if you put your arugula in and you feel like it all really just disappeared within your pasta, you could serve your pasta over some fresh arugula and the residual heat from this pasta will wilt the arugula. So you can get a little bit more in your meal. Because yeah, it does look a little bit like it kind of got lost in here. Okay, so the butter is in there. We are also going to do a lemon juice and zest. So got these guys here. I'm also going to add a little bit of salt in here too. I did salt my pasta water, but I'm going to add just a little bit more. We'll salt to taste. So we'll taste it. If it needs a little bit more, we can add a little bit more. Lemon juice and other acids are a way to flavor your dishes though and not use as much salt. So if you are trying to reduce your sodium, or if you feel like you're someone who cooks a lot with salt and you're trying to use a little bit less, acids can be your friend. So vinegars, citrus, things like that. Lemon juice can be a little overpowering, so I don't want to use too much. I do think I want some more arugula though, so I'll do that trick in just a second. I'm gonna add one more half here. Love this juicer. Okay. And then we'll also throw the zest in. It's gonna be so delicious. Diane, butter. Butter is delicious. We like the Kerrygold brand, or if you can, find a local brand. That's always good to support your local farmers. And a lot of times their practices are better than those that are conventionally raised. Okay, we've got that. Okay, here we go with the sour cream. Let me grab a spatula here. Got a baby spatula. Again, sour cream is a cultured product. So we're getting a little bit of probiotics in here. And there's the dogs. Always making a debut here. Okay. So I think I am gonna add a little bit of this pasta water. I'm gonna add about half of it here. And I think that butter is probably melted underneath, so we're just gonna stir all of this together. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks delicious. It is a little hard to mix. Let's see. There we go. It smells so delicious. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper in here too. Riley! Probably see another dog outside. Okay, this looks good. And what we'll do here, okay, so let's go ahead and start building my bowl. Whoa. Egg on the run. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bowl here, and we're gonna put some arugula at the bottom. Hey Jenny, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Looks delicious, huh? Yeah, I'm excited to try it myself. Okay. So like I said, I'm gonna add a little bit more arugula because just always, I don't know. I like greens. I'll put my greens in. And greens contain lots of B vitamins, folate included, lots of anti-inflammatory nutrients. And we know that women are at a higher risk for heart disease. And heart disease can be prevented by a lot of things, but one of the important mechanisms in our body that can prevent it is having enough folate in our diet, because folate actually helps to reduce the amount of something called homocysteine. And we know that people with high levels of homocysteine are at an increased risk for getting heart attacks and strokes. So if we can prevent high levels of homocysteine by eating lots of folate, that's a really good way to reduce your risk for heart disease. So all that to say, eat your greens.
Okay, that looks good. So now, like, all of the asparagus and peas kind of fell to the bottom, so I'm going to try to fish them out a little bit here and get some of those on. I would say I probably have about a cup and a half of pasta on here. Okay, and don't forget we're going to add some protein in here. So we've got our soft-boiled egg, and then we also have our smoked salmon that we're going to put on top. And I think that the smoked salmon is going to go really, really well with the sour cream. And so I think that's probably why they did use sour cream in this recipe. So far, so good, right? Squirrel. God, don't say that too loud. They will go crazy. Okay, this is the soft-boiled egg. 7 minutes. So bring your water up to a boil and leave it in there for about 7 minutes. I hope I didn't hard boil it. It feels a little, more firm than normal. Oh, that's nice. I like it. Soft boil. It's a little like, juicy and gooey there on the inside. So that's nice. We'll just put those on top, and then we're going to do about an ounce of our smoked salmon. Some more healthy fats here. This looks really good. I'm really excited to eat this. Really, really excited. Nice. Okay. A little bit of basil here. I mean, come on. This looks amazing. Does it not? Does it not? Are you not entertained? Yay! Gina says, that looks amazing. Definitely will be making this dish in the next few days. Let me know how you like it. I guess I should probably tell you how I like it, right? I've never had it. Hey, Janet! Good to see you! I know, doesn't it look delicious? I feel like I should take a picture before I dive in. I'm a millennial. I have to take a picture of everything. Sour cream was a great idea. And with the smoked salmon, oh my gosh, it's so good. If you love smoked salmon and you like that smoked salmon cream cheese thing that people do with bagels, you're gonna love this. It's so good. Also, I added pepper in here, and I highly recommend that too. Actually, that might have been on the recipe and I just forgot. And with the asparagus. Y'all, this is a keeper. It didn't take that long. It took about 45 minutes. I'm chatting too here. And really a lot of that was just waiting for the water to boil. So get that water to boil and have at it. Thanks, Julie. Okay, I promise I won't just eat this in front of you all night. Wonderful. So what I'll do is I'll share this recipe with you. Like I said, it's Epicurious. It wasn't my recipe. I added a few things. So I did add the boiled egg because they served, I think it was like 4 ounces of salmon on top. And smoked salmon can be a little expensive. And so the pack that I bought was about $9 for 4 ounces. So I thought I would just spread that amongst 4 dishes and then add an egg on top just to bump up the protein a little bit more. And then of course adding the arugula underneath. So yes, there it is, and it's delicious. I'll share that with everyone. Oh, thanks, Diane. This is one of my favorite dresses. I've had it for about 7 years and it continues to shrink. So it's no longer a dress. It's a long shirt that I wear with shorts underneath. But I love it so much, I can't let it go. All right. Thanks y'all so much for joining me. I love having you here. I hope you make this and enjoy it. Enjoy every single bite. I know you will. Report back. All right. Stay tuned. So tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow, but Friday night, I'm having a special guest on. Her name is Joyce Ann Day, and she's the owner of Grow Your Green Lifestyle. Check her out if you don't know her yet. She does a lot of fermenting, and so she has made a batch of lacto-fermented sauerkraut. And so she's coming over here on Friday night, and we're going to show you how to make your own sauerkraut at home from scratch. And the lacto fermentation process, which we'll talk about later, is a way to develop lots of probiotics in your food. And so when you eat that food, you get lots of healthy bacteria in your gut. So we're going to talk all about that Friday night at 8 p.m. I'll post more information about that so you can be sure to catch it. So don't miss it. Hopefully you don't have plans Friday night and you're just hanging out at home, because that's what we do now. Friday nights are best stayed inside at home anyway. So we hope to see you on then. Thanks for joining. See you guys later.